Johnny Murray here, and welcome to another review here on the channel. And today we got a fun one. It is going to be Psychonauts 2. So this one did make it into my top 15 games of the year, and for good reasons. There's a lot to love about this game. There's also some things that could use improvement, but definitely the good outweighs the bad here. And this game is really special, especially for me being a core primary Xbox user. I would say this was the first party exclusive, AAA exclusive that Xbox got in like, I think it was like 200 days or something like that. This is the game that kind of started the whole like Xbox has no games, like no more game, or no. This is the game that made people get attention to Xbox, because once this came out, every month afterwards there was a big game, and all of them reviewed really well. This was kind of like the game to start everything, which is really crazy because when this game was first announced, Double Fine wasn't even acquired by Xbox yet. So it's really awesome, but nonetheless, we're not here to talk about the hype or what it meant for Xbox. We're here to review the actual game and whether or not you guys should play it, pick it up, or just if you want to hear our thoughts, then you can also do that. But I'm also here joined with the lovely man, Mobaxu. Otherwise, you guys would know him as Austin, but
the platforming god.
The platforming god, yeah. And this was I would say the main game he was looking forward to when he got an Xbox, because obviously he's a platforming god and loves the 3D animation type stuff. And I mean, understandable. It was definitely one of my most hyped Xbox games, just because it's definitely different from what we normally see with Xbox. And but yeah, so are you ready to get on with this?
Yeah, dude, I'm ready to review this. I mean, this is one of like the only games that I've actually like beaten.
Fully played, yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah.
I'm ready to go.
So yeah, just a little refresher. If you guys don't know, there are 5 categories that we do our reviews off of. Each of them are worth 2 points. We have narrative, gameplay, visuals, audio, value/content. If you want more information on what these categories mean and go a little bit more in depth on how we're going to grade the categories, go watch our Ratchet & Clank review. We do a full explanation of how we grade these categories. But starting out, we're going to talk about the narrative. So narrative, just a little recap, is all about either A, story, or B, what the game tries to drive / its goal. So obviously for a story-driven game, it would be the story. For like a multiplayer game, it'd be what is the goal of the game? Does it accomplish what it's trying to do for the users? And I gotta say, I do really love this game's story. I think it's really good. But if I had to be honest with you, I think the story itself is one of the weaker aspects of the game. And this is my personal thing. I don't know how Austin's gonna give his opinion here, but I personally liked all the character development and all the characters' arcs way more than I did the actual story on what was going on. Like, for instance, I cared much more about what was going on with Raz than I did the rest of the world. I also cared about the other students, the general guy, I forget his name, and then this boss lady. I actually kind of like...
what's her name?
I know. What is her and his name? I forget.
Like, I feel like it's been so long, like, since I've actually played.
We both played it in August, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I wish I remember her name. It's not the hardest to remember, but I don't. But I did like her a lot.
Yeah, I liked her. I liked the general. I liked some of the other kids. Obviously, we love Raz. There were some other characters that I really liked. And I found myself more in love with them than I did, like, the plot of the game, if that makes sense. Right? Like, God of War, for example, the goal is to get to the top of the mountain and spread the ashes. I'm not saying I like the story better than that. Okay, never mind. Just bottom line is, there's the character arc and developments of Kratos, Atreus, some of the gods like, oh my god, what's it? Baldur, right? I care, I'm just saying, like, I would like those character things more in the story. I'm not saying that's what I actually think, but just as an example. But yeah, so I really fell in love with the characters, and but I will say, to do with the story, I think the boss fights actually work really well with the stories. I think they really complement it well. But what do you think about the story?
So I would say I'm kind of on like the same length as you are in terms of what I think of the story. I think the story is very good. I feel like I wouldn't give it the maximum points though for a couple reasons. And the reason I say that is because I feel like during this there was something that was missing. When I played this game, I really liked the story, but there was moments where I was just like, I wish there was more. I always felt like there were some scenes where it was like, I feel like there's something missing here. Like there's a certain cutscene that would make this better. I feel like they really, like, it's not that big of an issue. They really didn't focus on the relationship between Raz and I hate myself for
The
not
main
remembering.
female.
Yes,
Yeah.
which I should remember. It's just such a blur to me.
I don't honestly remember a lot of the characters' names.
Yeah, but we like them. But
Oh, yeah.
everyone's gonna be like, you don't like them enough if you don't remember
Yeah.
their names. Especially if I beat the game.
Yeah.
But I just feel like a lot of scenes were missing. I feel like a lot of things were just like it felt like a game that was getting hype every second, but it wasn't getting as hype as I wanted it to
Yeah.
be. And I will admit, everything, I think it was just the random points to where you advance were the problems. Like, I feel like the bosses, like John said, they complemented really well. They all made sense. I like the whole aspect of going inside of people's brains in order to fix a certain part of them and, you know, improve character development. I just feel like outside of the brain aspect of it, I feel like there was just a lot of stuff that was missing. There was a bunch of scenes where it just felt like there was always that little piece missing. So I would say I wouldn't give it the maximum points, but I definitely don't think it's too much of a deduction. So I pretty much agree with John, but kind of based off, I'd say, maybe more of a different reason, I'd say. But I will agree with him more, like when he says that the overall story is not the best part of this game.
Still good. It's just not
as
the
much
best.
as I feel like it should. It doesn't, which is kind of, to me, a little bit of a bummer because I think the idea of what they go for is the most creative. I just don't know if it holds up against all the other aspects.
Yeah, something I would also like to add is one thing I love about this game's story is the way the levels explain it, not necessarily cutscenes or dialogue. It's the way the levels. So, for instance, one of the first ones is you're in a dentist's mind, and the level is teeth and gums and tongues, and it's like it helps further that plot that they're trying to drive with these characters or situations. So I really do love what they do with the levels here, like and the casino inside the main girl's head, how she had a gambling addiction at one point, how you do things with poker chips and cards. It's really cool what they do. But for me, I'm gonna have to give this a 1.5 out of 2.
I agree.
I think I definitely wouldn't give it a 2 out of 2, but I wouldn't say it's a 1 out of 2. I think it's better than a 1 out of 2. I enjoy it more than I would a 1 out of 2. But definitely not 2 out of 2 for me. Really, really good, just not quite the best. Moving on, though, we're going to have gameplay. So gameplay is really, really... What's the word? Psycho. It's really psycho. So first and foremost, this is a platformer, and I can absolutely say I think the platforming here is really, really good. I actually tend to really like the platforming areas way more than I do the combat areas. Like when I see these platforms of teeth, that makes me a lot more excited than when an enemy pops up. Not to say I don't like when you have to do combat. I think the like whole magic and lifting objects and throwing it at them, doing little fire blasts, I think that's all great as well, which I really do love what they did here. It's a little complex but simple for everybody to understand and have a good time with. I think The animations really do help with the combat as well. And then the running I feel is good, but it's really the movement and the platforming is what I tend to really really love. When it comes to this game's gameplay, I love when you can you use that ball and roll around. That's really cool. Right there, actually, it's just really really cool. I love all the different enemy variety that there are, and I love how the enemies actually correlate with the story as well. Like a regret, what was it? A forgetful or something. Something like like I forget what that one is, but I think it's like
I don't really remember either.
But I remember like all the enemies kind of have like a word that you would use in like actual like life.
Yeah.
Like I know regret was one of them.
Yeah.
But I really really do love that. What do you think of the gameplay?
Man, platforming god here as usual. The platforming is
It's really good.
so good.
Yeah.
I will say the one thing that I was, and I still give it. I'll go into that in the end. A little bit of something that I really wasn't digging at first was the combat of it. But as time went on, I slowly started to understand it more, which I think was the issue. Is I just didn't really understand how the gameplay kind of worked and how the overall combat was going. Because I was like, am I supposed to be running away and shooting lasers and then using my fire and then hitting them after? I caught myself doing a bunch of the same things, and it was more just kind of confusing. I was like, what specifically do I have to run back more? Do I have to go up more? And that's how I felt about like the combat system. But like as I figured it out, I realized it was really fun, and I slowly started to get used to it more. Like I said, the platforming is probably the best part of the game in my opinion. It's so good at what it does, creating all of these nice looking levels. And also based off this picture, I was also going to say another thing I love about the gameplay is giving you these little mini games like this one right here. The cooking one where you have to basically run around and create a meal for some judges.
That's awesome.
It's very cool what they do and how much different variety of things they include in this gameplay, from the just running around to using your techniques to rail grinding to swinging across a bunch of poles and stuff just to get to the other side of like areas, floating across the air, using certain ways to get to certain areas. It's so great, and just collecting things. It's awesome. The gameplay is it's very 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 good. I loved it a lot.
I would also add, I think what I'm about to say kind of goes into two categories, but it transitions well. Is I think the level and the difficulty is pretty solid in my opinion. Like, so the level, like all the things you have to do, like for instance, at the very opening when they turn the office like sideways or like vertical, and you have to bounce on the like office stalls, like that's really really cool. But that also goes in the visual category because what they do make things creative to utilize with the gameplay. But anyway, gameplay, I'm gonna give it 2 out of 2. What are you looking up?
I've just been looking up something because I got tired of not knowing the names.
Oh, I see.
So in this next one, I'm gonna go through the names because now that I'm looking at it, I hate myself because all of these are really easy to remember.
I honestly have no idea. I completely forgot.
But yeah, I 2 out of 2 without a doubt. No doubt in my mind. It is very very. I think the gameplay is like, it's debatable for number 1, but I think the next one that's coming up is my absolute favorite.
Yeah, visuals.
Oh.
Visuals are by far the thing, in my opinion, that got me interested in the game, made me want to play it as soon as it came out. Honestly, what made me fall in love with it, and why I love Double Fine so much. I think the visuals is everything in this game, honestly.
I think
not everything, but
I think Psychonauts 2 was the best visual game of, what would it be?
2021.
Yeah. I think Psychonauts 2 was the best game for visuals in 2021.
Yes.
I believe that.
Yes, big facts. I mean, if you just look at it, I know this maybe isn't the greatest picture, but even here, there's so much to like. All the different colors, all the different effects they got going on. Oh man, it's really cool.
I just feel like I'm on drugs.
Yeah, honestly. To the effects of your moves that you use, to the effects of the levels, to the creativity that they use behind it. Like, who would think about jumping on some teeth with braces? Only the people that thought what this game should look like. All the things in the backgrounds, like, look at this. Inside people's brains, this is literally that lady's head split in half.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Like, who would ever thought that would look good, but it actually does. I just love the visuals. And same thing. Oh, look at that one. That one's so good as well. I think the bosses were designed really, really well. That's beautiful. I'm sorry. The lighting, the colors, everything just makes it so well. I think the character models looked really, really good. I think the character animation. Oh yeah, animations were so good. I definitely love the visuals so much. I think it's absolutely the number one category when it comes to this game.
As I was saying earlier, I think visuals they're amazing. They're so good. It definitely, when you look at this, I think what really makes the visuals a lot better is the creativity. I've said this for a long time. I don't think it's just about making something look good. I think when you have a lot of creativity put into something, the visuals can improve so much more. The level design, on another level. Great example.
See what you did there?
Great example. Miss Hollis, the teacher of, the one where her head is split in half. It's so creative what they do, and the amount of, kind of like areas they can cover. If they want to cover us, like, let's say an area that revolves around space, they can do so. One that goes around certain biomes, like a jungle or ice world or anything like that. They can just cover whatever they want. Mm-hmm. And it's also great because I think even the cutscenes are also very nice. Seeing characters interact, such as Ford Cruller and Lily, which is, I cannot believe I forgot that easy name.
Yeah.
And Sasha and Millie, I think that is
Miley.
Something like
Millie.
That. Millie, yes.
Yeah, I think it's Millie.
All of them. It's just like everything visually wise was stunning.
Yeah.
I really do feel like the art style that they went for is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how much, like, just looking at some of these, it's just like, I think to myself, how? It's like one of those things where it's like, this must have taken a long time. Like a very, very long time.
How do you even think of that?
Yeah.
Right.
It takes a very creative mind to create a very good, visual based game. Like John said, come on, man. Just take a look at that.
I know.
Honestly,
it's amazing.
So incredible. Yeah, I mean, I think after talking about that, I think we all know what amount of points we're gonna give it.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive you guys know where this is going. Something else. Something with
running
visuals.
Around people's brains, just
something else about the visuals is the way they're able to put like different spins on it. So like, sure, this is just walking around, doing your platforming, doing your combat. This is the boss battle, but then randomly you go into these more like animated cartooner areas. You go into these more like trippy area. Oh wait, just totally went the wrong direction. These more like crazy areas. Sometimes you'll go into like these 2D areas, like at the hospital. It goes into like a 2D platformer, and it has like the weird like black and bright blue.
And then you'll go to the
filter.
library.
Yeah, it's like, wow. The visuals do so much for this game. We're giving it 2 out of 2. I feel like this is pretty obvious. But now moving on, you guys actually already kind of got a little sneak peek of that. Audio. And I mean, to the combat, to the voice acting, to a lot of just the sound effects of walking, jumping, using objects. I mean, again, a lot of creativity goes into that because it's a lot of wacky stuff that you're gonna have to do a lot of wacky sounds with. I think the voices are pretty solid. To be fair, I don't think it's like one of the best voice acted things, but I think Raz's voice actor is really really good. I think Sasha's is really good. The teacher
Definitely
is really
like
good.
Ford Cruller.
Yes, yeah.
Ford Cruller is, yeah, definitely. I still don't remember the general's name.
There's some of the kids though. Their voices were kind of like, I don't know, it's just a little weird. But no, for the most part, I think the voice actors did really really good.
Oh, we would have never remembered the coach's name.
No.
Maury, I guess we'll say.
More, yeah. My only issue with the audio, and it's not even an issue, I still think it's good. I just think it kind of drops this category a little bit. The music. Now, there are moments where the music sounds nice, it's nice soundtrack music, but nothing's memorable. Nothing like is like there's no moment where you're like, dang, this music is going crazy right now. You know what I mean? I think the music is definitely the worst part of the audio. However, there are certain music pieces that do help the mood a little bit. Like, for instance, when you're in a casino, it starts playing more casino-esque music. I think that helps. When you're in trippy areas, it starts playing trippy music. Like, it's like, I think that really helps. But I don't think the music does an outstanding job. I just think it does its job where it meets the quota. It just doesn't go above and beyond like we love to see. What do you think of the audio?
I completely agree with what John says, and that's my only issue with audio. The thing is, like, when we talk about reviews and when we do this, we just give our honest opinion of what we think. And it's not like we do this to just find a way to hate on something. Because there's many of games that, John could say is a 10 out of 10, and I don't think so. And probably every review has probably been us agreeing. But, I mean, we both are pretty similar.
Yeah, we are really similar.
And we just say it how it is, what we think. And I do agree with John that the music is not very memorable, which is not bad. It's not bad to not have memorable music, but I feel like this game does the formula that I've kind of been scared of for games, and it's the formula of the music OST during cutscenes is better than the original gameplay. Yeah. And I feel like there's nothing wrong with it, but I feel like in order to have a memorable OST is to have even stronger music production and having composers and stuff, making them more memorable, not just for the cutscenes, but also for the gameplay. You gotta have both. Having both of those are so huge, because if you have good music, gameplay, music during the gameplay, people are gonna go back on YouTube and listen to that. There are some great examples of stuff like that. Let's say like Yakuza or
Doom.
Other great series. Nier Automata. Games like
Mario
those
Galaxy even.
having fantastic OST during the middle of the game, and not just during the cutscenes, which is something that
Tsushima, Halo Infinite.
Something that really plays a big part. I would say a lot of the songs I don't really remember much. The only one I remember was because I kind of found it obnoxious, to be honest, which is the ending credit song where it's like, bah, 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 bah. Like,
I know exactly what you're talking
which
about.
I was not a big
exactly
fan
what
of
you're talking
personally, but I wouldn't deduct it too much.
No, I think the music does its job. I just don't.
I think the audio is very, very good.
Yeah.
I think the only thing it struggled with a tiny bit was the music, but
Yeah.
it's still good. I'm not.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Absolutely.
It's good, but I hope it could be better next time.
Yeah. I think so. Like 2 out of 2 means it's the best of the best. Like it's the best. It was. It has. It was. I don't know what I'm even trying to say. It's the best that it could be. While we think the music was good, we think it could have been a lot bit better.
Yeah.
So, therefore, we're giving it a 1.5 out of 2. Now, this next category, I'm not even going to cap, I think is the second best category about this game, which is a little weird because it's gameplay was phenomenal. And it's kind of cheating, but it's kind of just how it is. Value and content, it's cheating, but it's on Game Pass. I mean, it's just cheesy, and it's like, okay, that's kind of fake. But, like, I paid $60 for Ratchet and Clank. I paid $15 a month for this game.
I'd pay 60 for it.
I even still would pay $60 for it. I'm not saying it's not worth 60, but the fact that 30 million people get it for $15 a month, it's kind of just broken.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I mean, and not only that, I think the story's enjoyable. I love you're gonna like the characters for sure. The gameplay is gonna be really fun. Visuals are absolutely stunning, great to look at. Like, just the colors are really, really awesome. Audio, if you have some nice headphones, bro, you might start drowning. And it's like a 20-hour game.
Honestly, like
It's like
it's
a pretty solid game.
It's a pretty decent.
Much longer than like Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
So, I think the value is really, really good here. I think the content you get is really good. There's a lot of different collectibles you're able to get throughout as well. But like, honestly, the thing that I think makes it the second best category is the fact that I didn't have to do anything. I just downloaded it the day it came out. Actually, before you were able to pre-install this game, and you just got it because of Game Pass. You're able to play this amazing game just because of Game Pass. And not only that, it's so much value to it, so much content, so much value. You just get it with Game Pass, and it's really awesome. So for that, I think value and content is definitely a 2 out of 2, but I think it's the second best category here.
So what I would say when it comes to value and content, I'm not even going to talk about Game Pass because I think you've covered that part.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about it though because I want to basically explain based off my experience of beating the game. So when it comes to the value and content, I feel like there's so much to enjoy and so much to do. I feel like once you beat the game though, it's one of those games where I don't really know if I would go back as much. And it's not per se like there's nothing to do. It's more of I feel like I've done so much as it is. I feel like I don't really have as much as I would. But I still think I would give it a 2 out of 2. I think the value is there. This is still, in my eyes, a $60 game.
Yeah,
especially for a Xbox platformer based game. Yeah. I would definitely pay 60 for it, even if it wasn't on Game Pass and the way that it worked. And like John said, everything about this game is great. I still believe to this day this is still a game that should have been nominated for Game of the Year.
It was.
And as it was, but there was a bunch of other games that we said we thought should have had other places. But I think this game is very phenomenal. I think it's great. I just think there's a couple things that need to be fixed. As he said, as all the other categories as we had, narrative, little bit of a struggle at some parts, but honestly very good. Visuals, just out of this world. Gameplay, super fun, exciting, very innovative in the way that it does. Audio design, honestly, wearing some good headphones, you might go under hypnosis. You might. And then the value and content, it's there.
Yeah.
It's a 2 out of 2 for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Which leads us to our conclusion. And man, whether you're just playing this game because it's on Game Pass, you're gonna love it. Like, unless you just don't like these types of games, I can't see how you wouldn't. Unless you just straight up don't like the concept at all.
Or unless you're just like unless you only like one particular genre.
Yeah, but like I think it's a game that most everybody can enjoy. I think obviously, like we've said, I think the story is enjoyable for what it is. I think the characters, they're humorous. They make you like them a lot. The gameplay is really awesome. The visuals are outstanding. The audio is very crisp, very nice. Just everything that you're able to do to walk around the hub, to all these cool level designs. Really, really fun. It gets you so much content to do. I really, really think you guys are going to like this game. I think if you haven't played it, absolutely do. We need a trilogy. We need a trilogy very badly.
We definitely do. And, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they do.
Oh, yeah, no.
Definitely, for me, this is a game that if I have friends that are big fans of platformers and are looking for some new platformers to play if they've never gotten into different ones, like, because we all know Nintendo is the one company based on doing platformers. If there's any platformer that I'm looking for that's Xbox, this is the first one, and probably for a long time will be the very first option, I'd say.
Absolutely. But no, I think in conclusion, it's a really, really good game. As you guys know, it's in my top 10 for games of the year, which is crazy because there was a lot of competition this year, but it really just did. And I think the main three things to take away from this is this game is one of the most creative things I've ever played. It is one of the visually appealing games I've ever played, and I just really had a good time. It's not something that made me question my life decisions because it was so like emotionally insane. It's not the thing that made me cry the most. It's not the thing that made me like jump out of my seat and thrill happiness. I just had a great time. It's just fun, enjoyable, and for that reason, I have a score. But I'll let you go ahead and give your conclusion.
I'm just gonna say this. This game, the original Psychonauts came out in 2005, okay?
Oh, yeah.
16 years, okay? Let me tell you something. It was worth the wait. 16 years for this. It was worth it.
Yes.
I'm telling you right now, even if you didn't play the first one, it is still great. They do a really good job at introducing you into what happened last time, and you're still gonna love it.
Yep.
16 years for this, I'll take it.
Double Fine.
And next time,
crushed it.
And next time, if we have Psychonauts 3, which we probably will, you're not even gonna have to wait 16 years.
Nope. And it'll have a bigger budget next time because. So, fun fact: this Psychonauts 2 started development in 2015, I believe, and it started as a community-funded project. Literally, fans paid to make this game happen. They were donating to Double Fine to make this happen. And in 2018, sorry, I don't know what I'm saying. 2017, it was announced, I'm pretty sure, and then they also announced that they had to cut so much content from the game because of budget issues that they had to scrap a lot of it because they just didn't have enough money. And then in 2018, they got acquired by Xbox. They gave them a lot more funding. It got delayed till 2019. When it came to 2019, it wasn't ready. They delayed to 2020. Again, got delayed due to they were just adding so much more.
They wanted, and that's the thing is like Double Fine as a studio has even come out and said they want more creativity, and that's why they decided to join with Xbox.
Yeah,
because that's the funding that they need. We all know Microsoft is
loaded.
Gosh, they got more money.
They are a bank.
Literally, they could probably buy so much.
They could buy banks
just with back pocket change.
Yeah.
And I definitely love Double Fine. I think Double Fine was one of like my favorite like biggest returns or like best studios this year because they had such a big impact with Psychonauts 1, And seeing them return like this is absolutely crazy, and I can't wait to see what they come out with in the future as well.
But with that said, my final score that I am going to be giving it is... Oh, God. I had a lot of pictures. A 9 out of 10. I feel like if you did the math throughout the episode, you could probably already assume that it was going to be 9 out of 10. But no, I think 9 out of 10, it is an A tier game. It is. I don't think it's S tier. S tier would obviously be... I would say S tier is... I don't know. Would you say S tier would be 9.5 or above? Or just 10 out of 10? I think S tier would only be 10 out of 10, to be honest with you.
I'd say 9.5.
Actually, yeah, no, I'd say 9.
That's
9.
a little...
Yeah.
That's a little, like...
I think 9 out of 10 is like 9, and then 8.5 could be A tier.
Yeah.
I would say. But either way, this is definitely an AA tier game. Yeah. Please play this game if you haven't already. It is really, really good. You can go on Game Pass right now. Just download it.
And just to be a little bit different, guys, just if you don't think we're different, because every review we do, we're usually the same, I give it a 9.1 out of 10. And if that doesn't tell you enough, there you go.
Yep. Really, really good game, guys. But thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, definitely leave a like, leave a comment in the section down below provided, and please subscribe. This was our review for Psychonauts 2, and we will be back with another game in the top 15. I don't know which one that'll be, but yeah. Peace.